house has been overcome with green. Check this out. Green screen. Should be absolutely fabulous for putting together some commercial projects. Snooker, more green. Computer, green. Now that's only green because I've wired that green screen camera straight into the computer. But this is where my studio is now. Sort of taking on a whole new dimension. Using my memorial mic. Let's see if you can see it. Hi everyone, how you all doing? I hope you're doing really good. I heard a silly thing that an elder said once. This is going back to 1981. I know. What am I remembering from 1981? Why is it staying in my mind? Let it go, Martin, let it go. Anyway, this is what he said at the Tuesday group study. In fact, that's where he said it. He said that the worst exampled Jehovah's Witness is still a better example and person than the best exampled person in the world. I think I need to reconstruct that, don't I? So he's saying that a Jehovah's Witness that is not the most of shining examples, the fact that they're probably dedicated, baptized, but they're still not a shining example as a true Christian, is still a better person than a person in the world who may be a wonderfully generous person in soul and heart. He's saying that worst example, Jehovah's Witness, is still a better person. I'm repeating myself, aren't I? But it's a good thing I am doing, because it's hard to understand what he's really saying here. He said this at the Tuesday group study in 1981, when we used to have the Tuesday group study at our house. The worst example, Jehovah's Witness, is still a better person than the best exampled person in the world. Yeah? That's another way of saying it. So I think I was 17 or 18 at the time, and I said, well, no, not really, because the worst example Jehovah's Witness would be a hypocrite. It could be a stumbling to everyone else. So why are you saying that he's still a better person than someone in the world that perhaps does a lot for charity and has a wonderful heart? And he said, because they're dedicated, baptized. And because they're dedicated, baptized, he is more or less saying that they have a better standing than someone who is not dedicated, baptized, and maybe a worldly type person. And I just brought that down a bit in my head, and I just thought, well, you know what? I know some really nice people in the world. You know, my Auntie Nellie, she's a Catholic, and yet she showed more Christian spirit one day in our house than my mother did. I mean, my mother is supposed to be Jehovah's Witness, you have self-control, everything else. And yet one day I distinctly remember my mother completely laying into the Catholic religion. And I had to remind my mother that Auntie Nellie's come round as a visitor, not to be attacked. I didn't like that when the Jehovah's Witnesses used to lay into other religions. But now it's different now, isn't it? The tables have turned. We're sort of laying into their religion for the mistakes they've made. And they don't like it either. If only my mother could have realised how she made my Auntie Nellie feel that day. And my Auntie Nellie never visited us after that day ever again. That was in 1981. She vowed never to come round if that's the reception she was going to get. I remained friendly with her. It's just that my mum's relationship with my Auntie Nellie strained after that. But I was always welcome because I went out of my way to apologise on behalf of my mother. My mother didn't have the temerity to apologise for what she said. So I apologised. I says, now, Nellie, I said, I was quite ashamed of what my mum said to you about the Catholic religion. I said, I know you do a lot of charitable acts, which I'm aware of, and I know you don't let everybody else know what you do. But I just want to say I'm sorry on behalf of what my mum said to you, because it was absolutely awful and she had no right to say that. So that kind of kept my relationship with my Auntie Nellie on track, and till the day she died, we were friends. But don't some Jehovah's Witnesses never stop to think, but instead of, opening their mouth and saying something that is off kilter and no basis of truth, they can't help themselves, can they? They just can't help but lay into Christendom's religions. But they don't like it now, do they? They don't like it now that their mistakes are pretty much in the face of everyone. I mean, with this culture of cover-up, it's been proven, hasn't it? I mean, I know an example myself in my old congregation where a family had the right to go to the police and the elders just ostracised them. They just treated them like lepers. I'll never, ever forget that. I used to think, well, this is Jehovah's organisation. Why are people getting away with these things? It's just that the ministerial servant and full-time pioneer, they wanted to believe him. So basically, it kind of meant that even though he was lying to them, Jehovah's Spirit and prayer and the consulting of the Bible on that day didn't work. It didn't work. Because every elder that was there, okay, bar one, there was just the one, that wanted to cross-examine this particular brother for a further 7 hours. After 7 or 8 hours, this baptised pioneer brother, in fact, the one I used to study with, he broke down after those 8 hours. But the other elders, the other 3 elders, wanted to wrap it up within an hour and say that he was telling the truth and that the girl of the family were telling malicious lies. And it was the complete opposite. The girls were telling the truth and the Jehovah's Witness baptized brother was the liar. But what hurts me more than anything is the fact that they just weren't able to find these things out easily. I thought that if they consulted in prayer and they looked at the scriptures, I thought that that was supposed to cut through all the lies. But he got away with it the first time. It was the second time he didn't get away with it. Wow, that changed my complete opinion of the elders. I began to think of them as very ordinary, extremely ordinary, that they weren't able to detect someone's lies. But then, just to ostracize and treat that family like lepers and then get the whole congregation to do the same was an act of wickedness. Even a judge would not have done that in a court of law. He would not have treated a family the way that the Jehovah's Witnesses treated this particular family. And the 2 girls, well, one of them I know quite well, she vowed never to come again. I think her sister may still be going, but what they went through was not right. Not right. Nobody should be treated like that. Yeah, that's something I just can't let go at the moment. It's just there. Why didn't Jehovah's Spirit see more clearly? How can three of them be so convinced someone's telling the truth? And it was just that one elder that thought, you know what, I think we should just keep this going. So he cancelled all his appointments that day, this particular elder. This is what I got told. And he should have gone home for his tea. He didn't, because he felt as if something just wasn't quite right. But that was just the one elder. Whereas the other three, I think they just wanted to wrap it all up early. But this one elder, we'll call him Brother Tenacious, he just said, he started grilling him, and then intensifying the grilling. Because when he felt as if he just wasn't telling him the truth, he decided that that was the point in which he could ask more poignant and more vigorous questions. Because that's what you do. When someone is yanking your chain and you are absolutely sure they're telling you lies, that's when you need to step up the ante. You need to start asking more soul-searching questions. That's how you find someone out. That's what happens in a courtroom. I know. I've been to a courtroom. I know how it works. You know, they'll start off gently at first in a courtroom, and then they'll start asking questions which you'll have to think about. But if you're telling the truth every time, you don't have a problem with that. It's if you tell lies in a courtroom, you will get found out very quickly. And if there's members of the jury see that, well, your chances are not good. So it's important, very important, in matters like this, in judicial matters where you go before anybody that's standing in judgment, that you tell the absolute truth every time, even if it's going to get you disfellowshipped. Just tell it. It's the only way, people. Complete honesty, straight as an arrow, and don't deviate. Like I say, if it gets you disfellowshipped, at least you've told the truth. Thank you.